Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 95 of the Hangout with Coach Kerry show. Only 4 more episodes after this for my regular scheduled episodes. So make sure you are on live with us on March the 7th for my 100th episode. Yay! And then we'll go to leave all those archived for you to be able to watch over and over and over again. And then from time to time, when I have an opportunity to interview an expert or something just strikes me that I think might be of interest to you, then I'll be doing those, because I'm going to be focusing more on offering some online programs, opportunities for you to be able to really take your business to the next level and do some of the stuff that I've been talking about, actually walk you through some of it. So today, what I want to talk about is a topic that I hear so many times. And as a veteran coach of 18 years, I hear this a lot. And this may be you, because chances are you've stumbled across my episodes, you've maybe seen some of the promotion on Facebook or other kind of social media on it, and you're probably a solo entrepreneur. You may have a staff, maybe some contractors, but something struck you that maybe I might have some answers for you. So here's the question I often get, and see if this might fit for you. I seem to be working all the time, crazy hours all the time, and yet I don't seem to be making enough money. And really what they want to do is they want to figure out how to work less and make more money. So, I mean, wouldn't we all, right? That's the ideal. So really what we have to do is we have to do a diagnostic. I say in coaching, there really are 3 components, and 3 components only that I work with clients. And one of them is clarity. The very first one, because without clarity, when you don't know really what's going on, then whatever attempt you do to deal with it, to maybe rectify it, may just be a band-aid, may not actually have anything to do with what the real issue is. So clarity is the first thing. What's really going on? So yeah, that's the diagnostic phase. Have to do that. Then second phase is strategy. And too often what we do is we've got a problem, let's think of strategy. Problem, move into strategy. And what we have to do is do this in the order that it is. So strategy is, okay, now that we've done the diagnostic, we know what the real problem is, then what are the strategies we're going to do to put in place so that in fact we can either fix or improve or whatever the particular issue is. And then the last thing is accountability. And that's where, if you're working with a coach like me, of course, I hold you accountable for doing those things, because you have to show up regularly. You've got skin in the game. You're paying to work with me. And if you're in a mastermind group, you can do it there. There has to be some accountability, because if not, what happens is we get drawn into, rabbit holes. We get dealing with distractions, all of that. So that accountability piece is really important. So it's clarity, strategy, and accountability. Those 3 things you have to have in place. So let's go back to clarity, because that's what we're really having to do right now, is diagnostic. And when a client says to me, I'm working all the time, I don't have any work-life balance, I'm not making enough money, or maybe they're making really good money, but there's no work-life balance. Then we do the diagnostic. And so first place I always look is this a symptom of just poor time management? And the good news is time management is a skill set you can learn. Yes, there are some people that more naturally plan out their time. They're more regimented. They maybe get less distracted. They can stay focused. And we've talked on other episodes about different behavioral styles. And so it's a really key piece to know thyself and know what you're coming into this analysis of your time management with. So some people will need more structure because they actually, it doesn't come naturally to them. So first thing is time management. How are you with that? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. See, really get clear, is this really the problem? And if it is, then the good news is there's some great things you can do regarding time management. And today's episode isn't about time management. I have some previous ones on it on the website hangoutwithcoachkerry.com, so you can go and have a listen to some of those with some great ideas and strategies I have around time management. But the good news is it's a learned skill, so you can learn how to manage your time better. Absolutely, you can. And I know for those of you that say, I'm a spontaneous person, I don't like to be regimented, well, The good news is if you learn that about yourself and then you say, but is this serving me? Then you can make a choice to put some structure to really support you in it. And in fact, I really believe that actually putting structure in place gives you freedom. It's freedom from guilt. It's freedom from worry. You get more done. So in fact, then you got momentum. You're feeling empowered and you're feeling good about yourself. So there's lots of good reasons why having some structure in place, some routines in place, the way you do things, some time management structures in place. So we've looked at time management. That's one. That's the first place I always look. Then the second one actually is around efficiencies and productivity. So that's a little different than time management because you might be really good at regimenting your time, but are you working on the right things at the right time? Do you know how to discern what is the more important thing to be able to working on at any given time? That's really important. Are there some efficiencies that you can put in place? Are you maybe doing things that it's better having someone else do them because they can do them faster, and you go out and do what you're best doing in your business? So I really want you to take a look at that. Productivity, efficiencies, see whether there's any areas there that you could tweak and make some shifts. And it could be a combination, of course, of time management and your productivities and efficiencies. So then the next thing is I also want to take a look at where you are in your business. And what I will say about entrepreneurs is we are an incredibly optimistic lot. And we always think things won't take as long as they do, because if you're a pessimist, why would you even go into business for yourself? So what we just need to be aware that maybe what we do is, as an optimist, we think things will maybe not take as much time to do. Maybe if you're in a startup phase, you think that, well, because you hung your shingle within a short period of time, you're going to be making the same money or more than you were making when you were maybe working for somebody else doing the same thing, or the income that you were used to making, you're making it now. So when you're in startup phase, as an entrepreneur, you're optimistic, and honestly, that's where you can get what I call unfulfilled expectations, because you have an expectation that pretty quickly, life's going to go back to feeling pretty normal. You're going to have some work-life balance. And what I say is, if you look at the steam locomotive, any train getting out of the station, when is the most amount of energy expended? Well, it's getting it out of the station. It's actually not when it's going down the track. And so when you are starting a business, you are in that startup phase, you're going to have to expend a lot of energy. It's going to take you so many extra hours in your day. So this is part of you budgeting for that when you look at what your time is looking like. There's going to be time when you are going to have to say to your friends, there's things I'm not going to be able to do anymore. And rather than resent that, because unfortunately that's sometimes what happens, is that embrace it, because that means you are in that phase where you're putting those solid foundations in place for you to be able to have a successful business. So, if you estimate it's going to be about 3 months, probably it's 6 months. As entrepreneurs, we probably half the amount of time that it takes us to do anything, or we are, because of our optimism. So if you're in startup phase, then chances are life doesn't feel very balanced right now, and that's normal. I want you to know that that's normal, that's expected, and plan more for that, so that you're really, you're not having that disappointment piece that's there. You may have to talk a lot with your family, because they will have expectations that, you're not going to be around, they're not going to see you. Well, again, if you're having to go and build relationships, if you're having to go and put the infrastructure in your business, if you're having to go and rainmake clients until you get raving fans, it's going to take more time. That's just the bottom line. So, there's going to have to be extra time put in there. Now, the other time that sometimes it seems a little out of whack is when a business has reached sort of a plateau in it, and that can be an income level that you're not happy with, but you've kind of got a routine in place. It can be an income that you're happy with, like maybe you're low 6 figures and you want to make it high 6 figures. But something that you say, I'm kind of in maintenance mode. So you've moved from startup, now you're in maintenance mode in your business, or actually because you've been through growth mode. That's where you're working, and now you're in maintenance mode. But you want to change it up. You actually want to go through another growth spurt. Well, in order to do that, it's going to require a huge investment of time. And I'll tell you, that's exactly where I'm at with my business. So I want to share that with you to get some of that perspective. I've been coaching for 18 years. I have a full, active, thriving practice. I have clients that I love. And I really do think I'm doing great work in the world. And it's time, though, for me to reach out to a much larger audience. It's time for me to impact people, not just on a one-on-one basis, but a one-on small group or one-to-many. And so I'm moving into that expert world. And that expert world requires a whole new learning curve for me. It's like going to university. I'm having to write products and programs. And, my coach is walking me through all of that. So that, in addition to what I already have in an existing coaching business, that's what I would say was in maintenance mode. I've been through startup, I've been through growth, now in maintenance mode. I know pretty predictably I've got a really healthy 6-figure business. And so, but now I want to change it up a little bit. So that means my life isn't going to have that balanced anymore. And in fact, so it's going to require a lot more time on my part. And it's also going to require a financial investment, because I've got a coach, I've got courses that I'm taking, programs I'm doing, I'm traveling to the States, all of that to learn this new business, learn this new sort of addition to the model of my business. And so I'm expending money and I'm not making any money yet. So in fact, it's kind of like the startup phase again, because it's a new startup component of my business. And I have to, when I went into that, I knew there was going to be that period. I knew that I needed to build credibility online by offering these videos, for an example, for free. I'm investing a lot of time creating them, putting them together with no direct result in terms of income. But I knew that I needed to build that credibility. I knew I needed to build an online tribe. I knew I needed to build raving fans that liked what I had to say, liked what I had to offer, and would be interested then when I had other programs and other ways in which they could interact with me versus one-on-one directly, that I would have built that reputation. And so I've done that. And 95 episodes I've done that. So ask yourself, where are you in your business? Are you in startup phase? Are you in growth mode? Or are you in maintenance mode, ready to go through another maintenance? Are you happy where you are? Because some of that frustration, that discontentment you have in terms of how hard you're working and the money you're making, has to do with where you are in that sort of business life cycle. And understanding that at the point that when you get to maintenance, that's when that point is either you're planning your exit strategy, you're training someone to come on and take over from you, which may in fact require some more time, or are you just going to keep working till the day that you take down your shingle and you're done? So when you're in maintenance, you need to be thinking about what your exit strategy is going to be, and that sometimes can cause you to have a little bit of imbalance, even though you might have gotten quite comfortable. I mean, for me, my lifestyle, I've got lots of free time. I've got a pretty good lifestyle because I'm in maintenance mode with my business. But now that I've decided to add this new this component to my business model, I don't have the same work-life balance anymore. In fact, things are imbalanced, and I understand that, and I've planned for that, and that's okay because I'm going to make that investment now for the payoff in the future. So that's really the way I want you to look at it. Wherever you are in your business life cycle, that you're putting the time and energy in right now for the payoff down the road. So let's go back and recap this short, quick episode here. First of all, you want to do a diagnostic. You have to have clarity. You have to know where it is, what it is that your issue is before you can actually start trying to fix it. So the first thing is this a time management issue? Is it a productivity efficiency issue? Is it the stage of where your business is? And it's probably one of those three things or a combination of them. So once you're really clear, really drill down. Take a look at yourself, because you're a key component of this, being the entrepreneur. How much is your behavioral style affecting some of these issues? Are you always looking for the latest new things? So you're always in new growth mode. And as a result of that, there's this chaos behind you because you haven't really hit maintenance in any of the areas. So there's a lot of that diagnostic that has to go in first. Then once you've got that in place, then you're going to take a look and you're going to say, okay, what are the strategies? So for example, if you uncover the fact that it has to do with time management, then there's some really good books for you to read. One of them is called Eat That Frog. If you like Microsoft and use those products, get more out of your life. There's Take Time for Your Life. David Allen's book, Getting Things Done. Those are all really, really good books that actually have some practical strategies to put some structure around your time so you can manage your time better. So you now have a strategy to put in place, and then you need someone to hold you accountable to make sure that you get that you implement the strategies and you hold to them. If it's around productivity, well, that's where actually some of the things like Those books as well will deal with productivity. So it's not just in terms of managing your time, but it's actually how you deal with your time, making sure that you're learning and discerning what's the most important thing you'd be working on at this given time. You know, things that actually move the needle, things that actually make a difference in your business. And then maybe delegate those things that don't move the needle and that aren't in your areas of gifts or expertise. And so those things you're going to take some action on. If it happens to be where you are in the life cycle of your business, well, first of all, that awareness is really important. And it might help you just settle and be okay with the fact that right now there isn't that balance because you got a lot on your plate, right? So it's going to help you with that, knowing that as an entrepreneur, you're optimistic about it. You need to extend your time and just plan for it. You know, when we have unfulfilled expectations, we expect to be making a certain amount of money, we expect our lifestyle to look a certain way, and we don't, then we get frustrated and that drags us down. And I guarantee you that that affects the energy you have towards your business. It'll affect who attract in your business. So you really want to take a look at those. So I've just kind of done a nice little recap for you. I really want to encourage you to do that diagnostic, figure out where you are in your business so that you can not be frustrated, so that you can understand where you are. And when we're choosing versus being sort of victim of circumstance, it's a much more empowering place to be. So I wish you an inspired week, everyone. Talk to you next week for episode 96. And please comment on the Facebook post of this or on my website. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And please share it with your colleagues, other people that might be interested in these episodes. And have an inspired week. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye, everybody.